Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. As you can see here, I've beaten Enmaten in Monster Strike, and then this is the final boss that I beat in the Sealed Watchtower, the second version. So with this video, I wanted to look at the rewards that we get, and then kind of look back at what teams I used for all of those quests, and then kind of think about like maybe what I am missing, like places where I had trouble. But yeah, there it is. This was tough, I'm not gonna lie. I think you want to set aside at least a weekend to do this. If you are very high level and you can beat all the quests fairly quickly, you can do it in 6 hours, maybe 6.5 hours. I did it more slowly, of course, over the course of a week, and then going really hard yesterday, which was Saturday. But let's get all the rewards. So we'll get that free Transcendent Gem, that's very useful. A Hero Scroll, that's what you get for finishing all of them. I guess we're going to go in reverse order here. Waku Waku Stick for 11 rows, which I'm very excited about. Some orbs, some more orbs. I guess somebody added up all of the orbs that you can get if you beat the Tower of Champions, the Non-Stop Tower, another scroll there, the Kinki no Goku, and then the new Watchtower. I think it's like 133 orbs, so Waku Waku in there. So yeah, if you are a kind of a hardcore free-to-play player, if you go through all of those every month, that's 133 orbs a month. That's pretty darn good. Alright, but I have all of the rewards here. I will use the Hero Scroll and then the Waku Waku Min and the Waku Waku Stick in another video, so you can look forward to that. But for now, let's go over to the board and then look at my team members for those. Okay, here we are. I guess we'll just go in order. First was Magmel, and then whenever possible, I tried to use drop monsters. Just so that I could have more Hatcher monsters for other quests. This was not too tough. I did not use my mana here. I used a mana friend, so I could save my mana for another quest. But yeah, I recently finished the max luck of Magmel, so I was pretty used to the quest. So I was able to beat it with kind of a less than optimal team there. That was not so bad. Next was Izanagi Kai. And actually, it's funny, I didn't have any of these three characters the first time, or the original time that I beat it. Oreo, and then Shinon, and Lucifer, they were all pretty great in there. You need damage walls, and then no block would be helpful, which is what Oreo and Shinon have. So yeah, this was not too bad at all. And then I'm really kind of happy, actually, for the second version of the Watchtower, because it makes all of the Kai quests much more relevant. Before, you would beat it, 2-3 times, or however many times it took to get the sub-bump combo that you wanted. But now, we have to play it every month, which I'm happy about, because the quests are interesting, I feel like, but there's no reason for me to play them before. Now I have a reason to play them. And then, like, a whole new class of characters is going to be much more important to you. Before, a new character would be released, and then, the people would say, it's really good for so-and-so Kai, and nobody would care, because that would mean that you just use it like, 2-3 times. But now, you'll be using it every month, so that really increases, like, the usability of a lot of characters. So yeah, pretty happy about this second version of the Watchtower. Okay, next is Bishamonten Kai. She's one of the more difficult Kais, I would say. I used both of my Hikaris, that was same as before, and then Maruduk, the Pierce with no gravity barrier. He's pretty good in here, so I was happy to have that. All three of these characters have Meteor Strike shots, which is very useful for this stage. Actually, I still have to beat Bishamonten Kai in order to get the Wave sub-bump combo, but it's not too high on my priority list, so I'll do that later maybe. Okay, next was Ryofu, and then same kind of gimmick. You want wood characters with no gravity barrier. So I used a bunch of those characters in here. This quest is not too difficult, as long as you concentrate your damage, and then, hit the same guy enough times to take him down in one turn. And then El Dorado, not too tough. Recently, the official channel for Monster Strike, they released a couple of videos that talk about the Colossals and the Impossibles that have like the lowest clear rate, or like the quests voted most difficult by users. El Dorado is very, very close to the top, but I never felt that about his quest, which is why I can beat it with a mostly free party. But yeah, Jun and then Akasha are pretty darn good. Of course, Murasaki Shikibu is kind of necessary for here, so I'm glad that I have her. Okay, continuing on, Devadatta, his quest is not too difficult. And actually, it's pretty fun for me to do that. You have to use your bounce characters and kind of pinch in a way that you don't usually pinch in other quests, so that was pretty cool. And then Beelzebub, one of my favorite characters, so it's cool to use him in here. Next was Daikokuten Kai. Not too difficult, and actually Yomi is really, really good for this quest. And then you might want to go back and you might want to make multiples of like colossal monsters that are good for these quests. So like Yomi, I have 3 of him, just so that I can use many of him in lots of these quests. Pretty useful. And then Hanzo, and then the new Kirito. It was nice to use the new Kirito. And then Ducky. I have 4 characters here because I think I used one of my friend characters. I don't recommend you do that, because that just means you're going to use more characters than you would have to usually. Not a problem if you have lots of characters though. And then here is Yashamyo. This is very close to the team that I want to use when I make the Max Luck. But instead of Aegis, I would use Meliodas. But I saved Meliodas for another stage, so yeah. And then Yashamyo is it's kind of a fun quest. Most Impossibles and Colossals lately, you have had to like go through like step by step, take down the little guys before you can go after the boss. But in this quest, you can just go straight for the boss, and if you can do enough damage in a few enough turns, then you can move on to the next stage. So it's a fun quest for that. Next is Ashura Kai. This one's pretty easy for me, so I could just use a Max Luck in there. Fudomyo Kai, also not too difficult, but then I have some overpowered characters for this quest. Forute, the middle character here, I pulled him recently. I didn't know where to use him, but now I'm very grateful to have him because I'll be using him every month in this Fudomyo Kai, so very, very cool. Next up was Izanami Kai, one of the more difficult ones, but I have a really good team for her. Beethoven, Mori, and then Miroku. But yeah, Mori's pretty great. He has a 8-turn null everything strike shot, so he can ignore the sling style change panels. And then he also has a Deity Slayer M, so that's big damage against the boss, and also Sprite Slayer, which works on the little guys that you need to take down in the same turn. I tried Atlantis in here, and he was okay, but not the best. He's okay because he has a 4-turn, becomes a Pierce Meteor Strike shot. The Meteor does not do a lot of damage, but the ability to become a Pierce and then stay a Pierce to ignore the Sling Style change panels can be pretty useful in there. But yeah, I find that this team that I have here is better. This was pretty tough. And then one thing that was kind of frustrating about playing the Kai missions is that when they first came out, I got pretty good at them actually. And it got to the point where I was near 100% clear rate because I just kept playing it in order to get the bump combo that I wanted. But then it had been some months before, since I had played them. So I kind of forgot how to go through them. So I had to sort of relearn the quests again for this time around. So that took some time. Okay, Kushinada Kai. This was fine. You want characters with no block. I was thinking about using King in here, but I wanted to save him for another quest. So no null block characters, just damage wall, and then Minesweeper when I could use it. This was not too bad. But yeah, Himiko was pretty useful in here. A lot of damage. That was kind of surprising. And then Arcadia here, I just finished his max luck, so I was very used to his stage. I did not use the Ascension version of the max luck here. I used the Evolution version. But after I finished Arcadia, I moved her to the Ascension version, because that'll be more useful overall. And actually the Colossal quests were kind of the easiest ones here, because those are the ones that I play most often. Next up is Aizen Myo, and then she was also kind of easy, because I had played her very recently, so I was still, my muscle memory was still there for her quest. I used Mu, he's kind of overpowered for this quest, and then Arendite, she's also really good. Next up was Judas. She's not too difficult, and then I have a good team for her, so no problem here. And then Kain, also really good. I kind of wish I hadn't used Shinji in here, because he has the Null Magic Circle. That might have been good to save for another quest with, you know, the magic circles. But yeah, pretty easy quest for me. Next was Brutus. I used something close to my standard team. Instead of using Juliet, though, I used Sango, and that was fine. For a lot of people, Brutus is one of the most difficult quests in the game, but not for me for some reason. Something clicked and I figured it out, so this was pretty easy. Next was Enmeten. I saved him for last because I really do not like his quest. He's probably one of the most, or one of the least popular quests in the game. You have to take down the anti-bounce guys or anti-pierce guys in a way so that they all end up the same type, and then you have to take them all down in the same turn. And then, sometimes, it doesn't register if you take them all down in the same turn, so you need to spend the next turn taking them all down again. So it's a pretty annoying quest. I might do it first next time, just to get it out of the way, instead of saving it for last. But here I used Atlantis, and then he was fine here. He has the ability to choose between bounce or pierce, so that was kind of nice. Same thing for Lancelot, so they were pretty useful here. Next was Yamato Takeru Kai. I like this quest, and then I'm able to use some monsters that I personally really like. So like Shakespeare and Rei. And then Belphegor really strong here, so yeah, this quest is not nearly as difficult as it used to be. Next was Idaten, and then I think this is another impossible quest, which is kind of graded most difficult among players. But it's not that bad. You just have to shuffle the shields and then make sure you pick them up on the right turn, and then it's not so bad. I also have some pretty strong characters for here as well. And then Oberon here, I had him in the Ascension form. I slid him to Evolution for this quest. I don't think I need the Ascension version of Oberon anymore, because before, in the first version of the Watchtower, I would use him for Izanagi Zero or Akasha, but now that I don't have to play Akasha anymore, I can keep this Oberon in the Evolution version, I think, maybe specifically for Idaten. But yeah, that's a good example of like how, you know, which characters are more important now are kind of shuffled around based on which Watchtower you select. Next was Horai, still one of the most difficult quests in the game for me. So I used my, you know, ideal farming team. Yeah, saved King and Magmel for this quest. And Magmel, that's another example of a drop monster that maybe you would want to make multiples of, because Magmel is good for a few of the quests of this second version of the Watchtower, including the Kai quests. So yeah, I'll be looking at making more of them in the future. And then here's Taishakten, pretty easy quest. So I used a couple of drop monsters here, that was fine. I actually have a lot of good characters for Taishakten. Like Kuhuding, King, the new Napoleon. But yeah, I just used the characters that I thought I couldn't use anywhere else in here, just to save them for those quests. And then here is a Tsukuyomi Kai, also used a standard team here. And then Marishten Kai. Actually, I thought I was going to use mana here, but I didn't. So actually, maybe I didn't use mana at all during my entire run through the second Watchtower. But you know, that's helpful. That's good to know to look back and look at which characters I used, because I can use this as a guide for the next time the Watchtower comes around, so I can know which characters I want to use. But yeah, these guys were fine. Marishten Kai is another one of the most difficult impossibles in the game, but I'm used to it, so it wasn't too bad for me. And then finally was Kanan. Here, actually, I did not use my standard team at all. Usually it's Bishamonten, Kamui, and Ducky. But I used a Kamui friend, and then some drop monsters, and I was able to get through that, so... Yeah, I'm also pretty used to this quest, because I've been playing it a lot lately. But yeah, that is how it was looking for my teams. And actually, looking at it now, I didn't feel like there were any weak spots, or like any quests where I really struggled. So I don't think I need to pull the Hatcher specifically for this second version of the Watchtower. Maybe what I will do is make more copies of certain drop monsters, especially like Magmel or other characters with no block. Okay, hopefully that was interesting, and hopefully you're having luck with the Watchtower on your own. Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.